Hello everyone, it's Dalton here, and you're watching Video Game Finds number 97. And today I've got quite a bit of good stuff to show you guys. Not as much as the previous video, but still pretty cool amount of stuff, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, first I'm going to show you all the stuff that I got off of eBay, just because I can kind of keep it, generally in the same kind of idea of, where everything came from. So, first go ahead and show these. I got 5 packs of paper sleeves for, disc-only games and stuff whenever I get them. As you can see, one of the packages is already open. I've been using them because I need them. But that was about, I think they were a little under 13 bucks for all of these. So that's a pretty good deal for 500 CD sleeves. So very, very cool. So there's those. And then I also have 10 more of those power bricks for Super Nintendos, original Nintendos, and Model 1 Sega Genesis consoles. I always need those. Those are always nice to have extras of those. Those usually run me about 33 bucks for the 10. So it's always worth buying them just because, I always need them. So there's those. Very cool. Then I've got, there's 4 of them here. These are lasers for fat PS2 consoles. And these ran me about 16 bucks for the 4, and I plan on putting these in consoles that need new lasers. So there's those. And I also got a slim one here. I haven't, I've opened it up to make sure everything was okay, but I can repair one of the slims that I have that does not work. And this one was, I think, $7.50 for the slim laser, which is, not too bad at all. And then I also have 2 cable ribbons here for controller ports for fat PS2 consoles, which I do have 2 consoles that have bad controller ports. So these will definitely help out. So that's very cool. And those were, I think, 6 bucks for those 2, so not bad. So piecing the things together a little bit at a time really helps out, and I can repair all the stuff. It'll be, making them brand new again. It'll be nice. So that's very cool. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and get into, or actually, well, I guess we can get into these 2. And then I'll get into the actual game stuff. I actually have here 4 of them. 2 of them are the same. I'll explain them when I show them. But I actually have here Super Mario and The Legend of Zelda $1 Million Bills here, which are really, really, really cool. The reason I have 2 of each is because I want to be able to display, one front ways and then one back ways, so that way you can see the artwork for both sides, which I think is, absolutely phenomenal. They look really cool. So those are all, they're just, they kind of blow my mind, really, just how much, different artwork styles that they have in the design of these $1 Million Bills. I think they're pretty cool. But anyways, there's the front and back of the Zelda ones, which are really, really cool as well. And I believe those ran me $5.50 for all 4 of them. So that is really, really cool. They're definitely worth hanging up in the game room. I'll have to figure out where, because, the walls are getting pretty full. But definitely really cool to add to the collection. So very cool. Alright, now we can get into the actual game stuff. So here we go. First thing here is we have a slim PS2 console only. This was an eBay auction, and I actually ended up winning it at $10.67 after shipping. And it was not really titled anything that you'd be able to find it under. It was literally just called PS2 console, all in lowercase letters. So it kind of seemed sketchy at first. But, since it was such a low, price, I was going to bid on it anyway. And I ended up getting it, and it actually works perfectly fine, which is really, really cool. So I was really excited to get a console-only PS2 Slim off of eBay for under 11 bucks. I thought that was awesome. So very cool. Alright, and then I got a PS1 bundle off of eBay, and it's, for most part, it's pretty good, but I'll get into explaining it. But here's the console. It's in pretty good physical shape. Unfortunately, it has a bad laser, as it says on the sticky note there. It does not work at all. I read the description and everything. They said it worked fine. I asked them if I could get a partial refund since the games did work. Well, this did come with games and stuff, but I'll get to them. Some of the games didn't work and stuff, and I asked if I could get a partial refund. And over time, I just I said the heck with it, because they kept prolonging it, and I never got the refund. So, but the lot was pretty small in price to begin with, so it's not that big a deal. But anyway, I'll go ahead and show the extras and stuff that it came with. Anyway, it came with, you know, the power and the AV cords, and those are the extra HD cords for the TV. That's pretty cool. It came with an official Sony Emerald Green controller there, which is really nice. And then it came with a Blue Performance brand aftermarket controller, which is still pretty nice. It works perfectly fine as well, which is cool. Usually those aftermarket controllers don't work too well, but that one did, so that's good. And then it came with a bunch of games. I'll go ahead and first show the ones that did not work, just because it's not a total loss to me. But the first one there is Driver. And then the one behind it is A Bug's Life. Most of them were disc-onlys, but that's not that big a deal. And then there's Vigilante 8 right there. And then behind that one, or maybe not, it's just by itself. So there's those three. So those ones didn't work. And then we've got Real Fishing. And then behind that one is a Gran Turismo 2. And that's the simulation mode disc. So those did not work. And then we also have 007 Tomorrow Never Dies and 007 The World Is Not Enough. So those did not work as well. So unfortunately those didn't work, but they're not anything too spectacular to worry about. So that's not the end of the world. But then we've got the ones that did work, which I'll go ahead and show these cased ones first, and then we'll get into the disc-onlys. But we actually have a Twisted Metal 2 here, which is really nice. That was nice to have in there. It is actually a Black Label disc in the Greatest Hits case, so the Black Label disc is actually worth a little bit more than the Greatest Hits one. But, you know, it's just a game, so, I mean, it works. It's perfectly fine, so that's cool. So there's that. And then we have a couple of games in here. We've got Crash Bandicoot 2, Greatest Hits. It's the Cortex Strikes Back. And then it also had, underneath it, there was Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. So those two were in there as well. And I actually had these ones resurfaced because they were pretty rough. They worked anyway, but they were so rough that I wanted to just resurface them and, you know, fix them up anyway. But resurfacing them was $2 a piece at our local game store. So not a bad deal at all. I thought it was cool to get the good games resurfaced at least. So there's those. Alright, now we'll go ahead and open the CD binder and I'll show you guys the disc-onlys. Alright. See if I can get into them here. Alright, so we have Vigilante 8-2, The Second Offense. There's that one. And then we've got Bloody Roar, which is also really nice. So there's those. Those ones were also resurfaced. I didn't have either of those, so I'll probably be hanging on to those discs just because they're pretty good games. And then we've got Tekken 3, as well as Spawn the Eternal, which is really nice. I had to double stack these games in here because the CD binder only holds so many. So that's why they're double stacked like this. And then we also have the first Siphon Filter. And then Grand Tour Racing, which is pretty nice. They're a little scratched up, but those ones work as well. And then we've got Die Hard Trilogy 2. And also NASCAR Thunder 2002. Nothing spectacular there, but it's a game, so it's, you know, it's better than nothing. Then we've got Bust a Move 99. And then we also have Mortal Kombat Trilogy. So there's those. Pretty nice. And then we've got 102 Dalmatians Puppies to the Rescue, which is actually worth a little bit on PS1, which I did not know. That's pretty cool. And then we've also got a Jet Moto 2. There's those. And then we've also got an All-Star Racing 2, and a Crash Bash and Spyro Year of the Dragon double disc demo disc for the holiday season, which I thought was really cool. I didn't have that, so I'm definitely going to hang on to that. That's pretty cool. And then we also have Sports Superbike 2 and Caesar's Palace 2000. There's those. Alright, and then got Test Drive Off-Road 2 and another Jet Moto 2. So they had two of those in there. So again, nothing spectacular except for a couple of games, but I mean, it still is a pretty good lot. But then we also got Gran Turismo 2, the arcade mode, and a Cool Borders 3, which is not bad. Those are not terrible games. Alright, and then we also have Big League Slugger Baseball and Motocross Mania. So there's those. And then last but not least, we have a Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2005 for PS2. For some reason that was thrown in there. And then a Final Fantasy Origins, which is really nice. So all those with the console, the 2 controllers, it was $42.50, which is not a bad deal. I just wish the PS1 would have worked like it said it did, but at the end it's not that big a deal. I'll just have to bounce back with the games. So not a terrible deal. So very cool. Alright, now we got some local stuff. Again, I got some stuff from our buddy Jordan once more. Actually a couple different times, because we usually help test and clean games and stuff for him, because he hasn't had the time to do that himself. So what he usually does is he usually pays us, but sometimes I'll ask if I can have games and stuff in trade instead of, paid in cash. So that's what we have here. So there's a couple of different scenarios here where he did that. First thing we have here is an original NES console here in very, very nice shape. It's just got one chip in the back corner, but it's got a very nice pin connector in it, which is very cool. And then it also came with a regular controller. No cords, but I mean, I got plenty of those now that I especially just showed you I got the power cords and stuff. But that was 25 bucks, which is not bad. And then I've got a regular gray PS1 controller here. This one does not rumble, and usually he does not sell things that do not, fully function, such as, not rumbling and stuff like that. So usually what he'll do is he usually asks if I want it first, or he'll, throw it away. So I said, you know what, since it works perfectly fine, I'll go ahead and take it, because, rumbling doesn't always mean everything. Usually he sells stuff on Amazon, so everything has to be precise, because he's gotten a lot of returns on things just because of a simple thing like that with a no rumble or something like that. So that's usually why he throws that kind of stuff away. But sometimes I'll ask him if I can have it, because, I'll sell it. I'll put it on eBay and, sell it to someone that doesn't really care if it rumbles or not. So that's pretty cool. Anyways, and then we've got 3 games here, 2 N64 games and an NES title. The one NES title here is A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a very hard to come by game. And I thought it was a pretty good deal. He sold it to me for 25 bucks, which is not terrible. It's, worth a little bit more than that, but since I didn't fully just straight up pay cash for it, I worked for it instead, so I'll end up selling it and making my money on that instead. So there's that. And then we've got a Super Mario 64, but it's not a North American version. As you can see on the back there, it's actually got the notches for it. This is actually for the Malaysian N64, which I thought was pretty interesting. I had never seen a Malaysian game or anything like that, so I thought that was pretty cool. I think he sold this one to me for 12 bucks just because, I plugged it in, I put a regular North American back on this, and it plays just like a North American game. It's all in English and everything. It's the exact same thing. So I thought that was pretty odd, but I thought it was cool at the same time because it's a foreign game. So very cool. Alright, and then I also got this from him, and this was 10 bucks, and it's a complete in box NBA Hang Time on N64. So very cool. It's in pretty good shape. The cartridge looks almost brand new. So very, very cool. I thought that was an awesome purchase from him as well. So very cool. Alright, so there's all the stuff from Jordan. So now we'll go ahead and get into all the stuff that I got from Goodwill and Ark. And when I got this stuff, this was all over a span of like 2 weeks riding my bicycle in a route that I take. Goodwill and Ark are pretty close together from where I live, so it's a pretty good bike route that I just take that I took every day when I went and looking for games and stuff. But anyways, all this stuff is from a course of over like, probably 7 different trips. So I'll go ahead and get into it. Alright. What we have here is we have a bunch of PS2 games and a Wii game and a couple other things, so we'll go ahead and get into it. First thing here is a Sonic the Hedgehog spin ball for Sega Genesis. That was 3 bucks, which is not terrible. And then I've got a Namco TV plug and play, which is pretty nice. That was 3 bucks as well. Those always sell pretty nicely. And then I got a Black Label copy of Dark Cloud, which I did not own yet, which is really nice. And that one is 100% complete. Definitely cool to add to the collection. Finally found a copy of that. Been looking for that one for a while, so that's cool. Then we've got a copy of Star Wars Battlefront 2. But what's awesome is that there was actually 2 copies of the game inside. It's got the manual and everything. But both discs were really heavily scratched, so I ended up getting them both resurfaced. Oh, by the way, the Dark Cloud was $2. The Star Wars Battlefront 2 was actually, I think it was $4, just because there was an extra disc in there or something like that. But then I had it had both of them resurfaced, so I actually have $8 in the 2 discs. So not terrible. Or maybe Dark Cloud. Yeah, Dark Cloud was $4 as well. I remember now. These were all $4 except for a couple of them. I'll get to them. But then we also have a Pikmin 2 Nintendo Selects on Wii, which is really nice shape. It's missing the manual, but it's got the pamphlets. But that one was $4 as well. And this one actually hits like $35, which I was super surprised. I didn't realize it was worth that much. I thought it was, worth less because, the GameCube one's worth so much. But this one's worth pretty much as the GameCube one, which is funny. But in very nice shape, and I'm glad to have this one, so that's very cool. Alright, and then we have a first Half-Life for PS2. This one was $2. This was a different day. That one's also complete. Now, on another separate day, I found 2 more PS2 games, and these ones were $2 as well. $2 a piece, anyway. And then we got Batman Rise of Sin Shu. I think that's how you pronounce it. I probably butchered the crap out of that, but that's that one. That one's also complete. I didn't have it, so I'm going to keep on, I'm going to hang on to that one, of course. And then the last one here is Castle Shikigami 2, which is basically a puzzle game, which I thought was pretty interesting. That one's also complete. It's pretty rough, so I'm probably going to switch the case. The insert's pretty banged up, but it's mostly there. And this one's actually worth a little bit of money too, so I definitely am going to hang on to that one as well. So very, very cool. So there's those. Alright, and then I found a Crash Twinsanity for Xbox, and that one is also complete, and that was $2. That one's worth about $17 to $20, give or take, for Xbox, so I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that. So that's really cool to find that. Then we've got a couple of controllers here. I've got a Oceanic Blue PS1 controller and a regular Charcoal Black PS2 controller. Again, unfortunately, both of these do not work. So I'll probably have to take them apart and try and fixing them. Hopefully I can. But I believe they were both $2 a piece, so it's not the end of the world if they don't work. But so there's those. Not bad. Then I've got an SP charger that was $1, which is really nice. I actually picked up an SP in the last, in the last video you saw. We had a PSP that SP, excuse me, that we found at Mile High Flea Market. So that'll go with it. So very cool. There's that. And then we've got a really, really nice condition Emerald Green PS2 controller, which was $2, and that one works perfectly fine. So very cool. There's that. And we have an aftermarket PS2 AV cord here that was in the original bag. I hadn't seen that before, but that was $1, and that was pretty cool. And that's, they work perfectly fine. And then this was also $1. We have a Nintendo 3DS charger, which is really nice. I always have extras of these around. That's, just in case. You never know. And then I got a copy of Blade 2 for PS2, and that one is also 100% complete. Disc is a little scratched up, but it's not terrible. But that was $2, which is really nice. And then I've got, this was really, really exciting to see. I was super stoked to see this at Goodwill. And it was during the middle of the week, so, it's one of those deals where you just barely, you wouldn't know about it unless you went. I mean, you can't really wait for the weekend because it would be just gone. But it was only $6, which I always thought was an incredible deal. And that is the Need for Speed Collector Series with the over cover, with the box, which I thought was really, really cool. I definitely want to hang on to this because I have not seen it before, and I probably won't see it again. But this is definitely an awesome addition to the PS2 collection. But it has all 3 of them. Need for Speed Underground 1 is actually factory sealed. And for, unfortunately, Most Wanted is missing the disc, but I can find a disc for it and put it in there. It won't be a big deal. But I actually do have the collectors, like the part of the set series, just without the cover. But I'll just end up selling those and then hang on to this. So definitely very, very cool. $6. It's worth about $40, I think, the last time I looked it up. So it's definitely a hard to find piece. So very, very cool. Alright, and then I found a copy of a very, very minty, crispy copy of Wii Sports Resort at ARC for $2, which I thought was really nice. And this one is 100% complete as well. And it's been played maybe once or twice, and that is it. It is literally almost brand new, so that's very, very cool. And then the last thing for this video I got was from our local game store, Games Ahoy, and that is the Simpsons skateboarding. And that is 100% complete, and that was only $4. And this one goes for about $10, so they didn't have that one priced to what I thought they would have had it priced at. So definitely an awesome one to add to the collection as well. So very, very cool. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. It's been, an awesome journey so far with the video game series. If you guys want, you go ahead and subscribe and hit that little bell so you guys know when I upload the next video. And thank you guys so much for sticking around. And if you guys tell your friends and family and everything about me and share my videos and stuff, I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. Just get word around that it's just a bit building a community and stuff like that. It's just really awesome. So I appreciate that, guys, a lot. So anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later, guys.